Hey there, it's Joel. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking workshop furniture. Things like this: workbenches, cabinets, drawers, all the things you need to keep your tools organized and in the right place. And as you can see, I'm in my new shop, and I've spent the last several months purchasing furniture for this shop, and I've really run the gamut. Got things from Home Depot, from Lowe's, and now in front of me I have something from Amazon. It may not be the very first place you think of when you think shop furniture, but after this video, I'm thinking maybe you'll give it a second look, because I've got some real experiences with all the furniture in this room that I want to share with you, and we're going to do a deep dive on the quality and ease of assembly on this WORKPRO 62-inch tool cabinet and workbench. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. I'll just take the elevator down. Okay, so before we take a look at the WORKPRO bench, let me show you what else I have in the shop here that I'm going to compare this experience to. The first thing that I purchased on Black Friday sale was this set of Cobalt cabinets and workbenches. Now, I did a lot of comparison. I really felt like the Cobalt was of a higher quality when it came to this style of furniture. So we have some cabinets here where the doors open and lock. You have shelving in here. You also have drawers down below, a drawer, all my Coke Zero, and then a secondary drawer. Then we had some cabinets we could mount to the wall. I really like these wall cabinets. They're just the right size. They were easy to hang. Got two of those. Over top, a workbench, which is adjustable height, could go in different directions. And then also this work cabinet that is on wheels and does pull out. Ended up going with another cabinet on the other side. And while I love this furniture, this was probably the most difficult set to get together I've ever tried, because they all came damaged, with the exception of these little cabinets and this tabletop. These things came damaged from Lowe's. It took me months to get the replacement parts, and even still, I'm going to point out that this door, which was replaced, you will see the paint is not exactly perfect on it. So while I felt this was the best quality of all the things that I had looked at for shop furniture, the process of getting the proper finished parts in my hands was really difficult. So that's just a quick experience with Cobalt. That's from Lowe's. All right, and then over here, we have the large tool cabinet, which I bought from Home Depot. It is Husky brand. And in fact, I own all Husky brand toolboxes and equipment in my residence, in my house. I have a workbench and some upper cabinets from them. And it's kind of the basic edition. This is not the basic edition. This is the premium Husky lineup that has things like soft close drawers. And admittedly, I'm not putting a lot of tools in here. I'm using it as a charging station. I mean, look how cool this is. I also have these big, giant, wide drawers, putting batteries and tools and stuff like that in here. But I love the fact that I can just throw this down. It's got some really big casters that I like on it, and everything is really nice. The only problem is this thing too came damaged. I've got some damage over here, you can see, had some damage around the edge, and just getting it from the possession of the store to me brought a lot of damage into its life. So super high quality, but still some damage. I also bought these organizing shelves and bins from a really kind of a high-end company called Seville. We might be working on a partnership to get some bigger cabinets in the large part of the shop from Seville. But while these are super high quality, they also came damaged. Had a couple of these shelves broken in shipping. So I was a little skeptical about buying something on Amazon, and I know each experience is unique, but that's what I came into this knowing. I found good stuff, but most of it came damaged, had a hard time working through issues. And that's what led me to WORKPRO. They sell on Amazon, so they ship a lot more often, I think, than the other two companies, and we'll see if their process or quality is different. Now, instead of burying the lead on you, I want to start by telling you that I'm impressed with the quality of the WORKPRO, and it arrived completely blemish-free, undamaged. It's the only piece of shop furniture I have in this entire warehouse that didn't have to be returned or have a warranty claim submitted on it. So that was a big, huge plus with me right off the top. The other thing that I noticed about the WORKPRO furniture is that it was about the same quality, if not a little bit better than what I bought from the home stores. Now, I have residential versions of the Husky stuff from Home Depot at my house, and this is of a higher quality. This is stronger gauge steel. It's just put together a little bit better than Husky, maybe a little lower than the high-end Husky, which is really expensive stuff, and certainly a little better, if not on par, with the Cobalt stuff that I have in here. All right, now let me move these tools off here so we can examine some of the features of this workbench that I really like and some things that I've noticed. To start off, this is a generous size top. You're gonna get 20 inches deep, and I believe it's 62 inches wide. Yes, 62 actual inches of width. And I have noticed that this feels a little bit taller than the other workbenches I have. Some of them are adjustable, but with the wheels, you're looking at 38¼ inches off the ground. So it almost feels counter height, which makes it ideal for doing projects. You don't want to be, with your hands down around your waist. These are just above my waist. I'm 6 foot tall. So I do appreciate the height on this. And that's partly due to these nice big casters. And I mean, these casters are large, and I really like the way they operate. They're sturdy, they're wide, they have good locks. And I think the top is very similar to what you're going to find from other brands. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if these all came from the exact same place, because I'm looking at 3 different tops in this shop right now. They all look like the WORKPRO. And if I pull this over to the side for you, you'll notice you have a large handle that's probably 1.5 inches thick on both sides. This is a really beefy handle that attaches with an angle. It really gives you a lot of confidence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts on each side of the handle. So 12 bolts holding on each one of these. You can take it, you can pull it around and maneuver it, and it can get quite heavy filled with tools. So you want to be able to control the workbench. I like these handles a lot. And while we're on this side, I'll also mention the built-in surge protector. You have to make sure and run this cable out when you're installing it. It has a nice little organization hook for the cord. And this is something that really comes in handy if you're using this as a workbench. So if you've got miter saws running, any other kind of saws that need to be plugged in, you could plug this into the wall, plug everything else right here. You've got your on and off switch for your surge protector, and you even have a couple USB ports down here at the bottom, so you could plug that in. Then when you're done with your cord, all you have to do is wrap it up around here. I wish this cord had some sort of little clip on the end, but I managed to just wind it around itself, and it stayed put pretty nicely, or at least good enough for me. I also want to make special mention of these corner pieces here. This is not something that I have seen on any other pieces of shop furniture or toolboxes that I have. These are high density rubber, and if you happen to hit anything with this cart, it is going to protect those precious corners, which are really, really fragile in some of these thinner metal carts. You have them on all 4 sides. And this is also a good time to take a look at these giant casters, each one having brakes. All you do is press down here, or rather step down, easier to do with your foot, and it's going to lock in right there. Really strong and sturdy, and on all 4 wheels, so that is a plus. Now, the most important thing about any tool chest is probably the doors and the drawers. This one has 7 total drawers, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 3, I would call medium-sized drawers on this side, and then a larger double drawer on the bottom, and then 3 small drawers in the middle. These are going to be great for tools, socket wrenches, pliers, things like that. Then a little further down, you have a half-size door right here, which I'll show you in just a minute, and then a larger door here that goes the full length of the cabinet with an adjustable shelf inside. Now, before I show you inside the doors and drawers, I just want to mention that these are easy to take in and out. You're going to be responsible for this as a part of the assembly process. It's really not all that hard. Hopefully you can see here on the track, all you do is grab these little things right here and you can take them off, pull up, and slide them out. And if you ever need to adjust anything, you can pull these out, but they do come flat boxed. And in just a few minutes, I'll tell you about how easy this thing was to assemble, because that's important for anything that shows up in a box. All right, so let's take a close look at all the parts of this cabinet. The first thing we'll look in is this large door, which has really strong magnets in it. You can see a magnet at the top and a magnet at the bottom, just two magnets. Swings nice and smooth. They place little plastic brackets up here in between the door, so it has a nice, even reveal. I had to install this. A big handle lip all the way top to bottom, and a lock. I'll show you that toward the end. But you just take it apart, and then you've got this large open cavity, and you'll see all of these little adjustment points. That's where you can attach your shelf with the little prongs on this shelf on the side. So I chose to put it a little higher, too, from the top. See, I've got like my laser level there and then a tool set there. So almost 20 inches of full depth here all the way to the back, enough to stick a large tool set in there. Really handy to have that tall bay. You could also leave that completely open if you had something taller that you wanted to put in there. While we're down here, let's look at the smaller door here. I've also got some tools. You have the same depth, no shelves in here, but again, it is lockable. There's the lock on the inside, two magnets, top and bottom. So same amount of magnets, holds it pretty firm. I just like that feel, rolls smooth, nice firm, positive click when it comes off. They're nice smooth doors, and it's a heavy gauge. I mean, it feels a little bit heavier, if not very similar to what I've gotten at the home stores. You know, no complaints about the quality of these doors. Okay, let's talk about the small 3 drawers. So on the top, I've got just a little tool set here, really handy. They're not very tall. It's meant for, you know, wrenches and pliers and things like that. Each drawer comes with a rubber kind of bottom for it to keep it from slipping. This is good if you're putting tools in here. So each drawer has that. No, these drawers are not soft close. That is one thing I wish they were. That was pretty soft, but they will just slam all the way in. Good sliders. I mean, these are high quality sliders, but they are not soft closed drawers. I've grown accustomed to wanting that. We all have that, but not in this level. So another drawer, exactly like the drawer on top, short drawer, third drawer, exactly like the two above it. So those are the 3 small drawers. Then on this side, we have 1, 2, 3 drawers exactly the same. These are more like, you know, 5 inches in depth. I don't have much in these yet. I'm starting to just kind of figure out where I want what. But these are a little, I think these are a little smoother in the middle, but the outside maybe a little stickier. And that's because these widths of the drawer, the tolerance was a little tighter on this side. So you can store things like tools, like got a jigsaw in there, oscillating saw, got a blower, hammer, fits heavy stuff. And the only drawer I found to be kind of sticky on this side was this one. I've messed with it quite a bit. It does have 2 sliders instead of 1. So I think it's just gonna take a little while for this one to warm up. It does not get used as much as the others either. But I will also show you, you did see we got several sets of keys. These keys are pretty cool. Not sure why, but they fold in half. Never seen a key do that. Maybe it's so you can keep it in place and it doesn't get broken off. I don't know. But I think these go to all the doors and the drawers, so I could lock this one down. You see, I can no longer open it. Now we can open it. But just to verify, turning of the key does turn this here. So locked, unlocked. Same thing with the large door. We've got open. Yeah, nice and tight lock. It is universal, so all the keys operate each of the doors and the drawers, and then there is the key, the lock for the drawers. I think you get the idea here, but you do get 3 different sets of keys. These came out of this here, but that is a quick tour of the cabinet, the keys, and all the features. All right, now because this came flat boxed, I do want to talk about the assembly process. I tried to film as much of that as possible while still putting it together, and here's what I found out. To start, everything comes in 2 separate packages. So you basically have a package for all your doors and drawers, and then a package for your larger sections. You're going to need to flip the unit over, so this top right here starts upside down on the ground, and you build the walls or the supporting walls in the middle and along the back on it from the ground. Now, this went together really easily for me. Everything was clearly marked. Instructions were easy to follow. There wasn't like 100 steps. There were more like 10 steps to the entire thing. You just repeated them over and over. So very easy to follow. If you're using a kind of a power drill on a low setting, it makes things so quick. Those were all Phillips head screws. Then once you got all those supporting walls done, you attached the bottom of the cabinet to kind of lock everything together. Again, the same screws and a low powered drill would do the trick. Then you also attach the wheels while it's upside down. Not hard at all. These are just bolts with lock washers and another slip washer underneath that. I used a ratcheting wrench, a powered ratchet and socket set, but you could use a regular socket set. That would be really easy. It was just a little bit faster. You could actually finger tight these almost all the way down, so there wasn't much extra work to do. Then once you get all that done, you can flip it over, set it on its wheels, attach your 2 handles to the side. Again, there are 12 screws on each side of the handles, really sturdy, really firm. You want to make sure you get all of those in there. And then all you have to do is assemble all your drawers and drawer fronts to slide in. And now I did find something that needed a little bit of clarification while inserting the drawers. They said that you need to make sure and pull the slides all the way out. And the first couple attempts, I did that, but the drawers would only go in halfway. You have to make sure you pull the slides out, and these little slotted pieces inside the sliders also need to be pulled all the way out. That's not obvious, but if you do that, then slide the drawer in from each side, and when you get it in on the track, push it all the way in, pull it all the way out. It will lock itself in place. You'll be good to go. So there's some insider information that I did not know. But once you have everything together, you can put your drawers all the way in and stand back and look at what you've created in about 20 to 30 minutes. And I'll be honest, I'm a guy that basically puts things together for a living. I do a lot of this, but I still found this pretty easy to do for what this is. In fact, half the time when I've received already assembled things like this from a Home Depot or a Lowe's, I've been disappointed at the quality of the installation. I've had, bolts on wheels that weren't completely tightened or things that were missing. And so this kind of allowed me to quality control the installation by spending 20 minutes doing it myself and making sure it was done right. And once it was done, I have to say, I really have no complaints about this cabinet. So if you're looking for an alternative to the stuff you see in the home centers, I think WORKPRO is a good place to look. If you're interested in this specific unit, I will put a link in the description down below. That is an affiliate link, so if you use that, it helps to support my channel at no additional cost to you. As always, thank you for watching. My name is Joel. This is Boxium Reviews, and I will see you in the next video.